Hello, my name is Alun, and tonight, in my time at least, I'm facilitating another session in a series of Eotenweard. This is my PbtA game in endless development. You want to know more about that? Go back to episode one. What I will say at the start of this recording, which I forgot to say at the start of the last session, was that this session has been organised as part of the Open Hearth Gaming Community's online calendar. If you don't know about the Open Hearth, please search Open Hearth and come see what we do. 500 people playing all kinds of games from across the world. So interesting group of people. We think our table culture is worthwhile and all the rest. We are playing with safety tools. All the players know that because we've been playing together now for a couple of weeks. But we also have a community code of conduct, which I often summarize as "Don't be a dick." And it's a very good document. I would recommend it to anyone who wants to have organized play online. So, with that done, one of our players can't be here this week, but we're going to play around that because we will pick up exactly where we left off. And I just checked in with the players to make sure that my recollection of where we left off matches theirs. So, to describe the scene, it is late in the day. The heroes, and let me introduce the players and the heroes. Paul, say hello and just introduce Black Cenred.
Hello, I'm Paul, and tonight I will be playing Black Cenred, he, him. Black Cenred is the reformed playbook. He's a little bit wild, a little bit, yeah, he's slightly dodgy. Trying not to be, though. That's always quite hard, given these situations, though. That's Black Cenred.
Yes, he still has his burden of dishonesty marked, I notice. We'll see how that displays today. Um, T, do you want to tell us something about yourself or Kerry for that matter?
Yeah, I'm T, she, her. I'm playing Carrie the Loon, Annie. And I think something that's important about Carrie, just as the moment, is that in a failed attempt to try and distract Mr. Guts, um, I don't think we have a name for that person. She was spouting gibberish and has managed to leave herself at something of a disadvantage going forward.
Yes, I think Mr. Entrails, as we're describing the spirit of
Hmm.
Gund, the
Gund, that's right.
sacrificed captive, sacrificed, dismembered, and conceivably eaten captive of the settlement of Oselsted. Um, Thanks for that that recollection. Zena, say hello. Tell us something about Branwen.
Hi, I'm Zina, they, them. I play Branwen, who also uses they, them pronouns, and that is the Spirit playbook. Yeah, they are not quite, mortal, as it were, and they tend to suffer from an incredible curiosity that often verges into intrusiveness. Yeah, and last session, I guess they tried and largely failed to sometimes, I guess, face challenges with physical force, and it seems that that's really not their strength. So, yeah.
And so these are the three heroes, along with our Celtic mystic, who is the player who isn't here today. We're going to keep them as a kind of aid to events in the background, so we don't inadvertently kill Robbie's character. So it's late in the day, you're at this sacred place. There are three other beings, for want of a better word. There is Gund, the spirit of intestines, as we come to think of him. There is Vibius Calasuna, unclear what they are because they seem to have emerged from a carving, a bas relief, and Calla, the vicious healer, who has been responsible for some of the vivisection that led to Gund being the spirit of intestines. Um, because of events last time, we have triggered what in the game is called the revelation. This is an opportunity for the characters to try to pull together what they have learned to date into a form where they can identify uh, who they think or what they think is the source of the darkness that Oselsted is suffering under. So what I would suggest, folks, is I've moved Revelation to the common tab, common move tab, because it seems more convenient there. When the heroes agree to consider the insights they have accumulated, they must connect them into a coherent narrative that identifies the nature of the darkness that besets Oselsted, and if appropriate, who or what embodies it. So my challenge to you is to look at the Oselsted tab and look at the 5 insights that you have gained about this place and try to pull them together into a coherent explanation of why you think someone is or something is the darkness. Is there anyone who wants to pick one of those insights and try to connect it to a second one? We're such a polite community now that it's often there's no silence.
Yeah, I'll jump in.
Go on.
I'd like to connect they strangers, don't they, and the power of flesh. I think they believe that flesh will grant people in Oselsted power.
Okay. So people in Oselsted can be granted power by the flesh of strangers. T or Xena, do you want to try and build on that idea with another one of these insights?
Yeah. I'm wondering because I remember Vivius Calasuna or the figure in the carving seemed to be significantly more beneficent, let's say, than Calla. And so I'm thinking about combining roast ghosts and willful subversion. So maybe
Well,
there's some sort of
can I
ooh,
because what I want to do is to go from flesh grants people in Oselsted power. I want
mhm.
you to link a third one to that, if you can.
Okay.
Because then somebody else will link another one on top of that, and we'll end up with a conclusion of who done it.
Okay. Yeah. So
Is that
just
okay?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, no, no. That's fine. Um, I'm gonna have to go back a few steps then.
Sorry.
Oh, no, 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 you're fine. So I'm thinking
I
here
mean,
about
oh,
oh,
sorry.
go ahead.
I
Uh,
was just gonna suggest a way of connecting the willful subversion with the other 2 that we already had. But if you have an idea, I don't want to step on your toes.
I have part of an idea, which
Hmm.
is cauterization as a medical technique being transformed into cannibalism, and the
Oh.
idea of fire as a purifying force of the flesh being changed as a tool from healing for a tool for the collection of dark powers. But I'm not entirely sure. I think that ties Roast Ghost to willful subversion.
Hmm. Yeah.
Well, so flesh
Oh,
grants people in Oselsted power.
mhm.
That connects to roast ghosts as the way in which that power is somehow captured and passed on, conceivably.
Mm.
Now, Xena, did you say you had a way to get from there to willful subversion?
Um, well, I mean, I was thinking, well, the willful subversion insight came from the idea that this whole ritual, for want of a better word, seems to be based on what we saw in depicted in the statue, but having been subverted into, a rather unholy or whatever you want to call it affair. That which also, I guess, seems to maybe be the cause for the rage against the witch by
So
those that are
to summarize then, flesh grants
victimized.
people in Oselsted power. That is believed to be through the use of fire, the perversion of fire, from cauterization of wounds to roasting flesh, and the cannibalism. That is a willful subversion of what might be the true right that the more beneficent statue may be showing. I suppose my question is, how then does that get to rage against the witch and the darkness? Can we have a crack at identifying who is, or what, could be a what, is at the root of this darkness? Because so far, when you roll for Revelation, you'll be rolling +1. If you can somehow link everything you've got so far to this idea of rage against the witch, perhaps by identifying or choosing what or who represents the witch in this kind of paradigm.
I mean, I would say Calla. It's very the obvious one, I guess.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that,
I'd go with Calla. The spirits are raging against her. She's not possibly quite as powerful.
right. So is that suggesting that Gund, the spirit of entrails, and Vibius Calasuna are spirits raging against the witch? Is that what you're telling me?
Definitely Gund. I think she may have subverted Callius.
Vivi-
Yeah, I don't know if he's quite at the rage stage.
Can I ask? So Vivius Karlsruhe is the figure that emerged right at the end of the last session, right? But
Mhm.
we haven't really, interacted with him whatsoever, right?
No,
And you did say he looks remarkably like the statue. Is that correct?
I did say that.
Okay. Because I'm wondering, how do we even know the name?
It's
I
written
think
at the bottom of it.
it's written on the plate, and
Oh,
I think all they said is I am Vibius Calasuna.
right. Okay. Because I was just thinking of, I was wondering about the name and the, you know, Suna possibly being, a son of Calla or something like that. Um, yeah. So,
I carefully skimmed over the fact that probably none of you can read Latin by having him announce himself as
mm.
Vibius Calasuna.
Yeah. Well, me, the player, was wondering about,
Yeah, but
and so I was,
he does
yeah.
resemble that statue.
So maybe they are like a descendants from that, and the ritual has been perverted over time.
What are you thinking, T?
No, I like that. And I'm wondering if, I mean, I think it probably works at least somewhat, right? I think there is an exchange of power, but perhaps there is also an exchange of emotional state, particularly if they are uh, consuming people who died in a not particularly good way. And so some of that psychic energies, shall we say, are slowly poisoning the town and everyone in it, which is why they have allowed this to continue unabated for, it seems, quite some time, just happening
Okay.
in broad daylight.
So if I ask the key question, who or what embodies the darkness that is cast over Oselsted, are you clear who or what that is? Calla, the vicious healer, has been mentioned. Both Xena and Paul have gone for that. T, I'm wondering
Oh,
if
no,
you
I think
wanted to
it's
say.
Calla.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I feel like she's the linchpin here.
Okay. So we've agreed
Burn the
that.
witch.
So now in the Revelation move, I ask you to tell me when you will confront her and where you will confront her. So this offers you the opportunity not to do it now. You could retreat and do it some other time and place. What's the view?
Burn the witch.
No.
I mean, I think retreating would put Bard in a pretty terminal situation.
That's true. That's true, because Bard is in this scene as well, isn't he? He's our cowardly crafter. And you did hear some screaming from the village, didn't you?
Yes.
Hmm.
So I think probably now is what I'm hearing. And I think I'm hearing here and now.
No
Okay.
time like the present.
No time that,
No time
yeah.
like the present, indeed
Just
so.
gonna say. Yeah.
Which NPCs will be present? Well, I think we've got Bard, the cowardly crafter. We have Calla, the vicious healer. And we've also got these two slight unknowns. So that's fine. Or maybe Gun, the spirit of intestines, is not unknown. The last question I have to ask you is, what do you fear will happen to this settlement if you fail to drive off or humble the darkness here?
I think somebody said it well that there's corruption in the flesh they're eating, and it's already driven them slightly bananas. This, it could spread. They're going to get more vicious, possibly more deformed. Yeah, evilness will.
Eventually, they'll run out of strangers and turn on each other, I imagine.
Okay. So people will become increasingly corrupted, turn on one another. Anything to add to that, Zena?
No, I think that covers it probably.
That's a pretty nasty fate. Okay. Then I have to ask one of you to make the brave decision of rolling the dice for this move. You have successfully connected all 5, so you are rolling +2. Nothing else affects this. Those of you or thousands of viewers may recognize this as reflecting a carved in brindlewood kind of mechanism, and you're not far from the truth. So, who wants to roll 2 dice and add 2 to it?
Well, I say it's the person's name who appears most in the insights.
Ooh, that's true. And that is Branwen.
Well volunteered.
Mm,
So, Branwen, you have been part of defining more of the insights than anyone else. So it does seem like that would be a good rule to institute.
throwing me to the lions. Okay, I shall do so. But you remember how badly I rolled last time.
Well, it's good this time.
Yeah, we'll see. Not so much. No, it's a 6.
It's a 6. Oh,
Mm.
wow. Okay. On a 6.
I
This
didn't
is
volunteer.
No, you didn't. No, you were forced to do it. So on a 6, they picked the wrong person or thing as the embodiment of the darkness. As 7 to 9, the fates will add an unwelcome or dangerous complication related to what they fear will happen if they fail. So I've got corruption and turning on one another to play with. But also, the real embodiment of darkness enters the scene and surprises one of the heroes. I will roll the dice. 1, 2, 3 in the order I can see you. 1, 2. Well, it's kind of inevitable that Branwen should be the one who is surprised and disadvantaged by the appearance of the real darkness. Well, fancy that.
Sure.
Oh no, actually it can't be Branwen. I know who it is. Black Cenred, you are going to be surprised by the real source of the darkness, as the amulet that you stole from Lady Linfrigga begins to emit a foul odor. Calla says, "You mustn't have that," pointing at the amulet. Ceri Ceri's always good for a kind of immediate reaction. What does Ceri do at this point?
Hmm. So Carrie had already left by the time Black Cenred stole the amulet.
Yes.
Uh, I don't think he knows what she's talking about. What are you holding right now? What is Black Cenred holding right now? Sorry, that's the who is uh
His bow.
mhm.
And I think probably wrapped around my hand. I mean, clearly she must have seen it, and it does smell quite foul. So I probably will have pulled out of a pocket this amulet, this torque.
Yeah, okay, so it is clearly visible right now. Yeah, I think Carrie's instinct, if Calla, who I don't think they trust, seems upset about Black Kenred having something, is just to snatch it and run.
So, what exactly you want to snatch this amulet, or is it a
Hmm.
talk? Let's make it a talk. That's a good thing. So you want to grab this talk and run. Is that right, Ceri?
It is.
Okay, let's have you roll to face that challenge.
Uh,
I think this is probably either subtle or steal. It's either your swiftness or you kind of point one way and he looks and you run.
I think it is swiftness. And is Black Kenred currently unsuspecting that Carrie would just try and steal something and run?
I mean, I'm surprised.
Let's go with
All right.
surprise.
All right, so I'm going to take surprise, which is roll with advantage,
Yeah,
but they have a disadvantage going forward. So this is just going to be
it's going
flat
to
with
cancel.
steal.
Yeah.
Yep, which is a +1. Ooh, that's an 11.
Well, that goes very well. You succeed, and but the fate picks one. You mark harm, no. It takes longer, you hope, no. Respite is temporary, no. Some other appropriate complication. What what is Kenred's reaction?
Uh, I didn't see that coming.
She's been taking notes.
Um, but on a 10 plus, you say how you gain advantage from your success, impress your patron enough to gain their favor, or impress a mortal NPC enough to have their faction owe the heroes a debt.
I think the advantage makes sense, especially since he's already at 3 favor right now. Um, yeah, and I think it's just, I think no one was expecting this. I think there's a moment of just sort of shock, and yeah, she gets a head start.
And as you are running away with this, Ceri, with this talk gripped in your fist, you can see that it is beginning to almost steam with a black mist. Um, Branwen, what do you do?
Hmm. I think Branwen is, I don't know, slightly annoyed by the mysteriousness of this whole thing, and will probably try and confront Calla and try to get some truth out of her. Um, and yeah, I think maybe they will just. I think they're st does it? I guess they're still translucent.
Um, they are becoming more solid by the moment.
Oh,
Calla
okay.
particularly, Vibius Calasuna less so.
Oh no, I meant Branwen is. I think they
Oh,
never
sorry,
shifted.
sorry. No,
Yeah.
you are still incorporeal, aren't you?
Yeah. So I think I guess I don't know if they could really grab a hold of her, but I think what they can do is, sort of rush toward her and sort of almost envelop her in like cold
Well, remember
mist.
that you can become incorporeal once a session.
Yeah.
So you could now be solid
Oh
and
yeah.
you and reveal your true nature and everything else later in the session if you wanted to.
Yeah, sure. Why not? But I mean, it's also not really about the grabbing. It's more about, getting her attention and sort of going, enough of this, tell me what this is all about. What is going on here? And
Um,
yeah, I would like to play my little move, Dominion of the Will.
it is right. When you seek to mortal, get their attention, look into their eyes, and roll plus favor.
Why exactly is my favor at -2? That can't be true. I think it was a 2.
I can only believe what you tell me.
I'm pretty sure I never went
I didn't
below
think it was
2, to
-2.
be
There you
honest.
go. So let's roll +2.
Yeah, so let's try. Let's see if this one works out better. Oh yes, it is a 13 with the
That is much
+2.
more like it, isn't it? So spend holes for an automatic 10 plus to convince them. So I think we need, because it's the first time we've seen this move in action, I think
Mm.
we need to know something about how does this look on screen? Do we dip into the special effects budget here, or just some clever camera work?
Well, so I think they, like I said, probably, as I said, slightly translucent, but not invisible. And, they will just sort of rush forward, like you would imagine a ghostly apparition to just go, poof, And I think this will cause Calla to just feel like they are sort of, I guess as if she is standing in front of like this ice wall, like there's just cold all around her or all across but certainly her face and front. And I think um, Branwen's eyes will look quite different to, when they're normally trying to seem normal. So they'll probably be sort of shimmering in all sorts of colors without, a discernible pupil. And yeah, um,
No, that's great.
yeah, then
This kind of
she's just
swirling spectrum of hypnotic colors. So on a 10 plus, what do you want to know is my question as the fates. Ask the
um
question, she will answer.
well, I want to know what is how do you say this? What's the deal with this talk? What does it belong to, or who does it belong to? Because she didn't seem like it was just, oh, this is the Lady Lynn Frigga's talk. It seemed a bit more.
Um, Fine. Lady Linfrigga, it is her talk in as much as it is her family's talk. And it has been in their family for generations. Uh, I think that's probably the answer to your first question on a 10 plus. Do you want to
Mhm.
spend your second hold for
Well, my question, my one, I'm wondering if I should use the second one to convince her of something more useful than just answering a question.
okay, you tell me.
But I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm just wondering what would be useful. I feel like I should be opening this to the other players. Um, Either gain her help in actually dealing with this darkness, if apparently she is not the darkness. Um, yeah, her just sort of full cooperation or something else. Can somebody else think of something more useful?
Oh, that's good.
Um, Kerry's run off, so it wouldn't really be appropriate for Kerry
No,
to
maybe
offer a
not.
view. So she will do anything she can um, now that she's free of that talk's power.
Okay.
It is deeply evil. Uh, Linfrigga used it to control me.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, this is very interesting. Me, the player, was also wondering if we should nominate Lynn Frigga. So there we go.
And I think at that point, the spirit of Vibius Calasuna, because it becomes clear that he is remaining translucent, says that talk should never have fallen back into mortal hands.
Mm. Okay. So destroy the talk it is.
Save the cheerleader, Ceri. Save the world. Ceri, this thing is growing intensely cold, and I need you to face a challenge as to whether it is beginning to have an effect on you.
Mm-hmm.
I think your choice, really. Grit, steel, trying to keep a rational thought in your head as this thing seems to be trying to control you, sense, or your faith in your patron, favor.
Hmm.
If you roll with favor, it will cost you a favor if you succeed.
Yeah, I think we'll see how this goes, but I think the loon is going to try to be sensible about this. And I mean, I think Carrie, struggles with incoherence and sort of that shifting sense of self. And I think this is not the first time she's felt something like this, trying to sort of push her mind one way or another. Whether that makes her more or less susceptible, though, I think we're about to find out. Ooh, 12.
A 12. On a 12, 7 plus, you succeed, though respite is temporary. That is that you're still gonna they're gonna come again. Um, 10 plus, gain advantage from your success, I think is the logical one.
Hmm.
But I'll let you cash in that advantage if you want to spend it to recollect something about a previous occasion you may have felt like this. You don't have to. I'm just putting it on the table as an offer.
Yeah. I will be honest, I don't have their sort of backstory really ironed out. And I don't think he knows either. Um, so I think I will hold the advantage, but I think I'm actually going to spend it for something else. I think Carrie is frantically looking around for a sign from his patron to lead him in the correct direction. Because this is obviously no good. A, it smells horrible, which is not delightful. B, does not feel good, I imagine physically or mentally. And they'd really like to put it somewhere where it won't be able to do any harm.
Okay,
So I'm going to invoke my gift.
do that thing.
Yeah.
Roll plus
With
favor.
and with advantage.
Mhm. Ah,
Oh, wow. So it's 15.
wow.
Carrie
So
saved all her good rolls.
she did. But so spend one favor for the success.
Absolutely.
Um, 7 plus, say how the patron's aid manifests as they empower your gift. Um, how do they give you a signal of where this might be safer?
I mean, we've talked about white birds as sort of uh, something that has been a consistent motif for him. So I think there's uh, I'm just imagining Carrie's running full tilt into the darkness, doesn't really know where she's going, but sees like a flash of white feathers off to one side and skids to a halt, pivots, and sprints off in that direction, wherever it is, and we'll be following this trail wherever it leads.
Okay, so follow this trail wherever it leads. Well,
Mhm.
that's a very brave choice, if I may say so. This steaming blackness that is coming off it um, continues to intensify. It's taking on an almost uh, physical kind of shape. This large bulbous shape, I think I would describe it as. Cenred, Ceri's run off. Um, I think that probably Bard has chased after her because she's the only one of you that Bard has had anything to do with. But Cenred, what are you going to do?
Uh, I shall make my pleasantries with the people here, apologize for disturbing them. I need to go into the settlement and kill Lady Linfriger. So, without further ado, thank you and goodbye. And I will sort of wander back into the settlement.
Wander or run?
Well, skulk.
Oh, Scout. So you're not in a hurry.
Not. No, I'd prefer to
I,
be
I
unseen
just,
rather than.
I just need to know how far events in the village have proceeded. After the
Oh,
initial screaming.
oh, let's have mayhem. Let's have people running around eating each other. Pulling limbs off. Yeah, whatever.
Um, Branwen, you've got some answers. Uh, what do you want to do? Oh, I think you are muted.
Indeed, I was. Sorry. I think Branwen's really torn because they are probably really worried about Ceri, um, but also feel like Lynn Frigga really needs to be confronted. I don't know. What do they do? I think they will probably, well, since we talked about Calla giving us all her, what do you say, support or cooperation, they'll ask her what is the most important thing here. Is it the talk? Is it Lady Linfriga?
Um, the talk is the source of this. Destroy it or what it holds.
Does she know? Did you know how to destroy it?
No.
No. Great. Okay, I didn't think so. And I guess then I shall rush after Ceri, and I hope I can move faster than a human because I'm still ghostly in
Yeah,
apparition.
I think the challenge is that there is one of your moves, isn't there, that allows you to choose to, I quote, speed of thought. You don't have that move yet, so
No.
you are limited to normal rates of movement.
Ah,
That still
well,
means you can run.
sure.
Um, uh, Cenred is in no hurry, it appears. He was happy for things in the village to accelerate. Ceri, um, I think that as you were running, um, the chicken that you followed from the village is now clucking along beside you towards the village. Do you choose to follow the chicken?
I
Cockroach,
mean,
even.
absolutely, yes.
Um, then I need you to face the challenge of this increasingly potent thing. So this time you're going to be at disadvantage
Mm.
as its manifestation grows.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. Uh, yeah, so this again is to maintain mental control.
Yes,
Okay, that makes sense again then. At disadvantage.
afraid so.
Yep. All right, let's see. So that will be a 6.
Oh, wow.
Hmm.
That is a that's a surprise. So that is a 6. Well, um, what do you do when you realize that you have torn the guts from the chicken and are consuming them raw?
Hmm. Uh, I think you, Black Henred and Branwen, can probably both hear this. I mean, it's obviously coming from a human throat, but it doesn't sound like words or language. This sort of keening wail that I think you can probably recognize as Ceri. And I am going to become incoherent.
Oh, and gain a
Mm.
favor.
Hmm.
Um, there is that horrible cry. You are perhaps now 200 yards, 200 meters from the village, Branwen and Black Cenred, and away to one side, you hear this scream, this incoherent cry of pain. What do you do?
Skulk along to investigate.
Uh, Branwen, are you still skulking or are you making
I'm
speed?
rushing. I'm rushing towards that.
Um,
Maybe, maybe I can still tell it's Carrie. I don't know, but
you've heard her incoherence before, but this is pain. This is shock. This is horror. I think.
yeah. So I,
As you crest a little rise in the ground, and there in a hollow, um, Ceri, what is the look on your face as Branwen comes in sight of you?
Yeah, I I think it's they look very young, almost like you know, a toddler covered in jam, just sort of looking up with round eyes. And it doesn't she can't really focus on your face almost. But of course it's not jam, is it?
no.
Cenred, you arrive shortly after Branwen. As Branwen is kind of just on the edge of this, you come in sight of Ceri. What do you do?
Uh, I will put my bow over my back with both arms outstretched. Ceri, my friend, Ceri, you are beside yourself. Something has taken possession of you. And I will try and advance towards Ceri in a sort of like very peaceful manner. And right at the last minute, I will pull out my hidden cudgel and bash him
Classic
With
Black Henry.
with what intent?
uh, to render
Okay.
them unconscious only.
Okay. Ceri, how do you, well, as T, how do you feel like about that? Because we have a line on some of that, as I remember it.
You
Let me
do?
just check where our line is.
No, there is
Uh,
definitely a line on PvP.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yes,
well,
there
yeah,
is.
I
well,
am.
I don't think that's player versus player. I think there's
Bet violent conflict
conflict
between
between
PCs.
PCs is a line. So
Yes.
I'm afraid we can't go down that road. You need to find another way to deal with this. And I think it's less about Ceri and more about the blossoming black presence that is rising over her.
Oh well, let's whack that with a cudgel then. Anything's good for a cudgeling.
Well, let me tell you then that the spirit of corruption that is housed in that talk and hanging over Ceri as she grips a half-eaten chicken in one hand and the talk in the other it has three defenses. It is incorporeal, it can call on hunger, and it is stubbornly connected to that talk. So those are the three defenses you have to overcome before you have a chance of humbling this thing. So which of those do you want to address, Cenred?
The last one, I want to put some distance between the creature and the talk by whacking it out of Ceri's hand.
That seems very fair. That seems very fair. So let us have you confront them. Um, roll plus that seems like steal to me,
It
unless I'm missing
does,
the
but I
point.
would like to lean into. I only pulled the cudgel out at the last minute. It is a hidden item.
Fair enough. I will go with subtle if that is a cunning plan, you would
Can I
describe
have
it.
still with advantage?
No.
Okay, subtle it is then. Oh, that's not good. 2 1s.
Uh,
Woof.
Ceri, mark one harm, as
Yeah.
instead of catching the talk and hooking it out of your hand, he bangs your knuckles and you drop it.
Uh, yeah, I think Carrie whimpers.
Yeah, and rolls away. Um, you still got the chicken in the other hand, or are you kind of just free of that now? I just want a picture in my head of what I'm seeing.
I think when Carrie sort of came to his senses a little bit, he dropped and backed away from the chicken a little bit. Um, yeah, and I think curled up in a little ball right now.
Uh, Branwen, the talk and Ceri are separated. Um, but that stubbornness of connecting this spirit of corruption to the talk is still a problem. So you have it's incorporeal, it can call on hunger, and indeed, you all three of you are feeling as though you have not eaten in a week.
I don't think Branwen is hungry, to be
That's
honest.
true. That's true. Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's a different type of hunger
No,
if you
no,
want to make
that's
that a thing,
you.
but
You are on the money. This is an effect on a mortal. So how do you help it understand that that hunger is no defense against you?
I think I think Branwen would have rushed in to grab the chalk away, it's just to make sure that none of the other mortals, get their hands on it. Not that
Okay.
I know that I'm completely safe from its effects, but I'm just hoping that I might
Okay.
have some um, defense
So
against it.
is that acting swiftly to scoop it up, or
Mm.
is that working it through and picking it up?
Well, I think it's more swiftly because I
Well,
that was
well, with steel.
the what's it called? I don't know what the word is. That is bad, of course, but oh well, we're doing it anyway. Oh, it's not so bad at all. It is a 9.
A 9. So on 7 plus, that defense is erased. So it you have overcome that call for that call on hunger. On a 7 plus, the defense is erased, but they pick 1. They will use a power. And the power they're going to use as you pick up the talk is bite a bit, unearthly control. When declared, the hero rolled to confront them must successfully face the challenge of resisting its will.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's either steel or sense.
I mean, I obviously want to use sense.
That's fine. Keeping a grip on your emotional state is fine.
Can I ask, does this in any way, shape, or form, how do you say that? No. Does this move, no. Excuse me. Does me being incorporeal benefit me in any way in this situation?
No, because this
No.
is what amounts to mental conflict, I think.
Okay, fine. You've got to try and haggle.
You have
Um,
to.
all right, so plus sense, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, it seems to be a 12.
Oh, wow. After last week, this is quite a shock.
Yeah, I swear I
So
did roll it.
yeah, so no, you resist that and you have advantage to carry forward to continue to resist it. So there's no reason for you to throw that talk away at this point. Harry, you see Branwen scoop up this talk and you see her literally battling with this thing,
Hmm.
but appears to make some progress. It kind of moves away from her. still attached to the talk in her hand, but it's keeping its distance from her. What do you want to do, Ceri, that might either address its incorporeal nature
Mhm.
or its iron will, its stubbornness to hang on to its connection to that talk?
Yeah, I think. Okay, so I'll let me know if this sounds good to you, Sina. I'm imagining that there is like a visual link, right, between the torque and the spirit, and I think that Carrie knows that Branwen could, interact with the spirit directly, and Carrie, even though, he's lost his guide, let's say, is going, still knows the direction in which she was being guided. So I think, Carrie will shout something to you, Brandwin, and then yet again try to grab the torque and run in the direction that he thinks he should be going in. But of course, she's currently incoherent, so I don't know that you have any idea what she's trying to communicate to you right now.
Yeah, I don't think Branwen will let go of the talk willingly, especially given how they found you
Hmm.
after grabbing it the first time. So yeah, again, we
Well,
don't really
look,
do
well,
PvP, but
let's have let's the challenge here is to communicate your intention to
Mm-hmm.
Branwen while
Mm-hmm.
incoherent.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Feels like
think
subtle, doesn't it?
it does feel like subtle, but I
Mm-hmm.
think the incoherence puts it at a disadvantage.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah,
Um, Also rolling at a -1. Ooh, close. That is a 6.
right.
can one
Dang.
of us help with that? Like, could Branwen theoretically try and help
Well,
by
I mean, Branwen, you can let it go when it becomes clear that Ceri thinks she has a plan or he has a plan.
I don't want to do that because I think that as soon as Carrie gets a hold of it, it's going to go badly for them. But I
Well,
think
I
I
I think
wonder if
then on a six, then in the moment at which you are both hanging on to this, I need Ceri now to face the challenge of not succumbing to its blandishments.
Mm.
Okay?
Uh, yes, I think Carrie's gonna seek an intervention in this
Oh,
case and roll with
okay.
favor.
Okay. So let's have you do this then. When you believe a patron can help with a common move, roll plus favor instead of the attribute. Go for it. Roll plus favor.
Uh, uh, Leaning on his faith, which is a good thing because that is 10.
Wow. Spend
Mark that
favor and
down.
say how
Yeah.
the patron's help is manifested. Is it manifested to leave you in control, not just of yourself, but also of the talk?
Yeah. Yeah, because Branwen, you are also kind of theoretically have a relationship with the same patron as Carrie does. And also you're still at least somewhat incorporeal, right?
hmm yeah,
Yeah, so I think there's just a moment of sudden clarity in Carrie's eyes, and they stop tugging and look up at you. Um, and then wink, and a moment later tug again, and it just whoops right through your hand. And once again, Carrie turns and sprints off.
Um,
fantastic.
Cenred, you see this happen. What do you do? Um,
Being very confused in all fairness. I'm really unsure what's really going on in any way, shape, or form here. Um,
I suppose what I'm
yeah.
asking is how do you think you can hurt this spirit of corruption? Because that's what you have to do to save the village.
Yeah.
Because I've just remembered that Calla said that she would help in this, didn't she?
Yeah.
She comes up beside you and presses the scalpel into your hands.
Oh, let's stab it.
Run after Ceri and aim to stab it. Yeah,
Where's the creature now?
it's like a huge amorphous black cloud that is attached to the talk as Ceri runs away with the talk.
Yeah, yeah, let's go and stab it. Why not?
Incoherence or stubbornness? Do you think this is going to be any good against?
Stubbornness. I could sort of free it
I,
from
I,
sort of
I think
distance it.
I think I'm probably going to say stubbornness is going to be its last defense, last
Okay, let's
defense,
go for the
because
other
I
one
think
then.
it's going to be its last effort will be to hang on to the talk.
No
So
problem at all.
let's have you try that knife against its incorporeal nature. Roll to confront it with steel, unless you've got
Uh,
a better offer.
yeah, no, 5 minus 1, 4.
Oh wow, guys! Okay, on a 6. You take harm as established, so I'm going to give you 1 point of harm. As the knife misses it, a tendril of this wraps around your wrist, and you get that stomach pain, that sense of, God, as though you've not eaten in a long time. Um, Branwen, Ceri is running broadly in the direction of the village. She'll be there in a matter of moments, I think. The screaming is ongoing. What do you do, Branwen?
Go after her.
Chase after her.
It's just
Cenred, are
a
you
wild
you
goose
picking up
chase.
the chase?
Yeah, 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 why not? I'll pull my bow off my back and ready, notch an arrow.
Okay. An ordinary mundane arrow.
Do I have non-mundane arrows?
No,
No, I thought that
but
was the answer.
you could try to bind that scalpel.
Yeah, I could shove it in, yeah, pull off an arrowhead and yam it in there. Yeah, why
Okay,
not?
so you're running around binding this
Yeah.
thing to an arrow. Harry, you reach the edge of the village, and there is carnage all around. Uh, it's almost like a battlefield. Individuals have fallen on one another. They are gnawing at one another's flesh. It is the Walking Dead incarnate here, but they are not dead. The victor in any conflict is feeding on the other one, gnawing on their arms, burying their face in their torn stomachs. What do you do, Ceri?
Yeah. Uh, she knew this was the direction she was supposed to go. I think just look around desperately for a sign. What is it that, why was he sent here? What is he supposed to be doing? What are their next steps? So I guess that's invoking their gift again.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, invoke
Yeah.
away. Roll plus favor.
Ooh, 11.
Wow. So
And I
we're coming
will
to
spend the
it's
favor.
extremes today. So on an
Hmm.
11, spend favor. Um, it works. How does it manifest again?
Yeah. Well, the white cockerel's dead, so it's probably not that. Maybe it's one of its feathers is that was shed earlier is yeah, exactly, drifting in the wind. And Carrie sees it and makes sort of like a sound of delighted surprise and tears off after it.
It is heading towards the Great Hall. I will tell you. On a 10 plus, you pick one. Your gift has greater impact, scope, scale, or duration, or you gain advantage going forward. Or your patron is magnanimous and refuses the favor that you have sacrificed.
I'm going to take duration. I think it would be helpful if this uh, feather continues to float preternaturally long and leads Carrie to where he's supposed to be right now.
Yeah, and I think in some way there's all this carnage going on around you, and you are kind of moving through it almost sedately as this kind of slightly blurry trail of the feather runs towards the Great Wall. Cenred, you see this same carnage in the village. There are people fighting one another. There is cannibalism. People are being eaten alive. What do you do?
I will turn to a guy and say, I really do like the meat helmet. And then I will shoot the tendril creature. Yeah.
The spirit of corruption. Okay, so this is roll plus sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do that.
6, 7, 8.
So on a 7+, it becomes corporeal. Ceri, the talk disappears from your hand, and it is instead around the neck of a wizened old man dressed in long dark robes with staring mad eyes, and his clothing is covered in little animal fetishes of various kinds. He is now corporeal, or it is now corporeal. So you've got rid of incorporeal. It is now the stubbornness of this spirit not to be destroyed is all that remains between you and somehow putting an end to it. And the scalpel did the job. Branwen, you come up alongside Cenred. You see the figure standing next to Ceri. Ceri, what do you do when you suddenly realize that this figure is not just there, but is now running towards the hall?
I mean, Carrie's supposed to be there too. So I think she's going to try and outrun him.
Get there first.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Cenred, Branwen, you see Ceri hair off after him. You know, she's probably 10, 20 yards ahead of you, 10, 20 meters ahead of you. Do you chase after or stay put? Cenred.
I will say to Branwen, let's use the alternate entrance to the hall. There's an entrance around the back.
Sure, I will.
Skulk in that way.
I will follow Kenred's suggestion there.
And
Although, I wonder if it's quicker for me to just go past through the wall. I don't know. It depends on
I
if that
think
helps.
there's this delightful moment where Cenred opens the shutters and says, "You first,"
And
and
I'm
you
already
just walk
through.
through the wall next to the window.
Yes.
So you're in those back rooms. Ceri, you follow this man into the hall. And up on the podium, the platform at the high table, is Lady Linfriga eating Derwin.
Who was
What do you
Derwin
do,
again? The
Ceri?
blind guy?
Derwin was
Yeah,
the
the blind
blind
champion.
Yeah,
champion.
the champion.
The infirm
Um,
champion.
Yeah. Well, we're in the hall. Uh, are the wolfhounds still here?
I'm very happy for the wolfhound still to be here. They're
Uh,
cowering in the corner.
Probably
This is-
the only creatures still in their right mind.
yeah. Uh, and I think Carrie, again, incoherent, can't shout orders or commands. Not that, she knows what the dogs have been trained to do anyway. But I think uh, she will sort of howl like a wolfhound and try to entreat them to come to his aid at this moment.
I don't know which attribute you think you're going to use, but
No
whichever one it
idea.
is, it's going to be a disadvantage. I think it's either an act of faith, roll with
Mhm,
favor.
mhm.
In fact, I don't think there's any other way that you can talk to the dogs at this point. This has to be a call to your patron to, help.
Mhm. I absolutely agree. So this is a +1. Uh, that's a 3. Oh, but I don't
Okay.
spend the favor, right? Or do you
No,
spend the
you
favor?
don't. You no, no.
Right.
They only take a favor if they come through. And the dogs look at you, look at what's going on at the top table, and skedaddle out of the hall. It
Uh,
seems like they were paralyzed in fear, and you howling at them just go.
You saved
Um,
the dogs.
um, the this wizened talk wearer rushes up to Linfriga, shakes her, and says, "You stupid bitch!" That is when Cenred and Branwen reach the doors of the Great Hall. Ceri is halfway to the top table. You see this happen at the top table. Branwen, what do you do?
I think Branwen will try and catch up with the guy. I don't know. The the evil dude. I really don't know. What did you describe him as?
He is old. He has long, greasy, dark hair.
Right.
His clothes are uh, dark and fetid and covered in these little animal fetishes, skulls,
Mm.
feathers, bones. But he is wearing the talk.
Hmm. Yeah, but he is the darkness
He is
in,
the
like
corporeal
yeah.
incarnation of the darkness. Yes.
Yeah, so I think well, you said there's still that last, what was it, the stubbornness
Yes.
to overcome. And I think Branwen will try and use whispered death on him. And that's why I also want to get close to him because I think I only, what is it? I need to be reasonably close.
I think so.
I mean, I have the range step thing, but it's not, still not super far away. Yeah.
It isn't. It's a whisper that carries across a room,
Yes.
crudely put. So as you walk up, uh, or run up, catch up to Ceri. Ceri, do you do anything before Branwen gets to you and before I ask Cenred what he wants to do?
I mean, I think Carrie really, in his heart of hearts, did expect the dogs to help, and is just sort of staring after them, slack-jawed, and tearing up a little bit.
Oh no.
Cenred, Branwen is kind of heading up the hall. Ceri is tearing up. What, if anything, do we see you do?
I will step out of the sort of back room entrance, say, "Or you wizened old man, and you crazy leader. This has got to stop. I'm here put an end to it. Me alone. You, me." And I'm going to try and sort of use distracting patter so they look more at me. So hopefully Branwyn can get in there and roundhouse them.
Roll plus subtle.
A 6 and a 3 plus 1, 10.
10, 7
Mm.
plus. They are distracted until another hero breaks the spell by exploiting their disadvantage. There's no 10 plus bonus, but there's likewise no 7 to 9 downside. So both the spirit of corruption, this corporeal nature of the spirit of corruption, and Lady Linfriga, she they both turn and look towards Cenred. Um, Branwen, you have advantage. What do you want to do
Mhm.
with it?
So I think narratively that means maybe I can get even closer. Maybe I'm even how do you say? Well, now I'm probably invisible and I've just, rushed toward him so I can directly whisper into his ear, with all of these cacophonous voices that tell him that his time here is over. Um,
Okay, let's have you roll for whispering death. It's roll plus subtle, isn't it?
yes, it is, and I have advantages
Yep.
Yes,
because
you
of
do, because of Kenred's
Kenred's
distraction. He doesn't see you
fantastic.
coming at all.
Cool. Give me a sec. Ooh, nice. That's 11 plus 1, 12.
On a 12, um, you kill him. How do we know that this spirit of corruption is no longer going to be a problem? That you have
Hmm.
whispered its death to it.
Yeah. I wonder if upon hearing these voices, he sort of, you know, maybe clutches his ears. And yeah. And maybe, yeah, lets out a sort of maybe inhuman sounding wail. And then maybe he just sort of disintegrates into, I don't know what pieces would be good. Um,
How could corruption
I'm wondering
be?
if we could be gory or not.
Oh, we've been plenty gory.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't disintegrate. Yeah, maybe he disintegrates into a sort of well, a black gooey substance, and all of these little fetishes that were hanging off of his clothes just sort of clatter to the ground or get stuck in the ooze. And, yeah, sorry.
Along with the talk.
I mean,
Oh,
on a
ooh,
10 plus, you have the ability to humble them if they have
Yes.
no defenses.
Yeah. So can you end this?
ooh. Oh, do you mean so? Hmm. Does that mean the talk still contains something?
This spirit is
Or
still there. You have done away with this connection, but the talk
mm,
remains a problem.
well, do we stab it again? Do we
I don't
throw it
know.
in the fire?
What do you want to do? Because you have nothing to overcome now. You can do anything you like that you think will humble
I
this
feel like
spirit.
I feel like putting it in a fire. I mean, maybe not the fire here. Maybe it would have to be like, a
Let's burn the whole building
smith's.
down with it. That'll be a big fire.
I was thinking of it, like a blacksmith's fire or something, that's properly really, really, really hot to melt the whole bloody thing down.
The whole
Fire pit.
fire is incandescently flaming behind you.
Fantastic. Then we shall use that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is about throwing it into the heart of the fire, isn't it?
Hmm.
Into the hottest part without doing yourself any harm. So I think that is face a challenge using either sense to carefully judge the distance and throw, or steel as an act of agility.
Hmm.
Which one do you want to use?
What happens if I miss?
Um, then on a 6- to humble them. They are not as cowed as you thought. You take arms established and are at disadvantage. The fate says if they remain, so you can try to humble them again, or take the chance to
Right.
successfully leave the scene.
Do you know what? I'm going to use sense and not try to. I would rather not mess this one up. We'll see. Yeah. I think I will just, yeah, carefully
Loft it.
dangle the chalk on, a long stick to deposit it
Let's see if it works.
safely. Yeah. So there we go. Um, yep, it works. It's a 12 because I think no, yeah, sense is 2. It's
Um,
12.
on 7+, they're at your mercy. So the spirit of corruption, the talk is at your mercy. Whatever is in that talk that bound that spirit, that gave it power, is at your mercy. Do you spare them so that their faction will owe you a debt, or do you end them?
I struggle to understand what even is their faction.
Fair point.
I don't think.
Yeah,
How
no, I
about
think that's
the spin on that is that maybe the lady will be now free of whatever, and so she would owe you a debt. You could spin it that way, but
Yeah,
hey, end it, do
my
whatever.
question is just what on earth are you even sparing here? Like I'm just confused by
well.
now
I think
about
the
this.
question is, in narratively, are we going to see this melted down to slag, or do you grant it some mercy and lift it back out of the flame so it is not ended? It is not destroyed.
No, you know what? I think, narratively speaking, I don't think Branwen would have any inclination to take it out of the fire again.
I was just checking, just checking. Um, uh, on a 10 plus, though, say what they give you or what you take from their remains. You
Hmm.
can, an unchecked, I don't think it's an unchecked item of gear that makes sense there. A charm or trophy that grants advantage once if you describe its relevance to some future action. So, do you keep the melted slag of some of this talk as a trophy?
Hmm.
Or do you will this be relevant as an undefined insight you can use during a future revelation? If you can call back to this, you'll get an extra insight.
I
Well,
think the trophy probably makes the most sense as a sort of piece of
okay.
metal or something.
So if you want to make a note down there under gear, uh, the what are we going to call it? The melted talk with bracket advantage question mark after it. Uh, then you might remember it when we need it. Ceri, as soon as that talk melts to slag, the dogs come back and come to you. What do you do?
Um, yeah, I mean, I think Carrie is doing bad and is also still covered in chicken blood. So I think she'll just sort of sit in the middle of the hall and, throw her arms around one of the dog's neck. And like as another one starts to lick the blood from her face and hands, she will let them. And I think Branwen and Black Kenred, you can hear that Carrie is. It sounds like scolding the dogs, maybe, but of course, from her tone. But of course, the words are not understandable.
Of course not. That climax has gone on much longer than I'd anticipated, partly to do with the number of failures again. Thank you. So it is 20 past the hour. We should have had a break 20 minutes ago. Shall we take 10 minutes now? Back at half
Sounds
past
good.
the hour.
Sure.
See you then.
Yes.
So we are moving now to the aftermath of events. Shade stays as it is, though it plays no part in this kind of intervening phase between settlements and will reset a bit before the next settlement. But there are two routes through the aftermath. One, did the heroes succeed or did they fail? They succeeded. They saw off the darkness, albeit at some cost to the village. So if the hero successfully humbled the darkness, the Fates invites each hero to contribute to a positive description of the settlement's future or the fate of a significant NPC. Now, positive in the current terms may be a relatively in commas positive, but they are now out from under the shadow. So we want some sense of how things might go forward. T, do you want to start with that?
Hmm. Yeah. I think we see the Great Hall, and we talked about in the first session here that it's, uh, previously has not been particularly warm and welcoming. And I think that we see it quite soon afterwards, but it looks like it is very warm and welcoming now. All of the fires are built up. The torches are lit, the rushes are refreshed, and we see a number of sort of beds in the Great Hall of people bearing wounds and being tended to, and we see moving through the Great Hall. I think she's changed clothes too. I think Calla is now wearing less fine, more comfortable, more practical clothing. She's got an apron with a bunch of pockets, and as she's going through, uh, tending wounds and changing dressings. She's, I think there's someone who's helping her as a young child, and you can see she stops and she talks with each of the people she's tending to, and they seem heartened by her care and that she is a healer in truth now and not just name.
And no longer vicious.
Indeed.
What about you, Zena? Do you want to contribute something that gives a positive spin to these horrific events?
Yeah. I wonder if we see maybe a sort of how do you say that, like a village fest, a festival that is, that also has, a great bonfire, etc. But this time around, there's um, no ghastly human sacrifice involved in it, right? Maybe there's like bundles of um, pleasantly smelling herbs around the bonfire, and they I don't know, maybe they are celebrating a harvest. I don't actually know if this was established, but I think, yeah, I think we established that they were suffering hunger in this, well, quite literal, not just by the spirit or whatever induced by that. And maybe they've had their first good harvest um, after this darkness has been lifted.
Villagers celebrate a new start with a bonfire scented with herbs and eating a healthy harvest supper. Yeah? Okay. Paul, how do you want to try and put a positive spin on this?
I would like to see Beomund return to recover the remains of his friend Grun, was it? Mr. Intestines?
Yeah.
Yep. So he will show up to recover his warband's remains.
Yeah. Fine. And I think I'll add that he returns to recover the remains of Gund. But I think there is he is invited to put those remains on the same funeral pyre that those killed during these events. A third of the villagers are dead. And adds his bones, because sadly there's not a lot else left of him but his bones, to the communal cremation of the other victims of the spirit of the darkness. Thank you for that. So, epilogue dealt with. Everybody, I'll mark a debt from this kingdom to the players. So Dira is going to owe you a debt. They already owe you one. They now owe you two. Then each hero clears wearied and wounded and dying. You too are offered succor by Calla, the no longer vicious healer. So you can clear all your harm tracks. And you can increase your favor by 1, up to a maximum of 3.
I do read that slightly different,
Oh,
Alan.
go on.
It's clear wearied or wounded and dying. So I had all 3, so I should still remain with wearied.
Oh no, that's my poor grammar. Clear wearied, comma, wounded and dying.
Okay.
There you go. Thanks for that. Finally, the fates triggers Weird Bith Fuller Aid as you leave. Now, my assumption here, if you check out the setting tab, which I'll bring down close to leaving, this was all part of an effort to get Gwilog back to his marshes, wasn't it?
Yep.
So I think that having travelled to Dira the kingdom of Dira, where Oselsted is. You are now heading south into or towards the marshes, or the marshes around the hub, south of Eotenweard, which will one day be York, and the marshes where Gwilog did his apprenticeship, so to speak. So that's my assumption. In Robbie's absence, I don't think we can go anywhere else. So that is where you are heading. And it invites me to tell you yes, who's got the lowest favor?
I've got 2.
I also
Branwen?
have 2.
2, Branwen?
I've just gone back to 3 again.
Okay, so I'll roll a single dice. Odd, Cenred, even, Ceri. Ceri, would you roll a flat, 2d6 plus favor
All right.
to see what the situation on the road might be?
That's an 8.
Okay, 7 plus. The fate rolls or chooses. I've already did that in the break. On your way south towards the marshes, you encounter a group of. It's a wagon with brightly painted cloth sides, and a group of people who are setting camp. They appear to be entertainers of some description. On a 10 plus, you don't approach the next key scene at advantage, nor are you disadvantaged. So, agree if the travelers describe an ill that the heroes could do something about. This would be a side quest, as went the trip to the water snake infested fens a session or so ago. Do they instead describe a war band of raiders heading towards Oselsted? Maybe Beerman's coming back for some more. Or do they invite the heroes to share their campfire? What are you interested in this time? Xena, I thought you were going to speak then, but you just sighed loudly.
Oh, yeah, I was just thinking, the campfire thing is that the only chance where we could theoretically, I don't know, how do you say that, clear our burdens?
Yes.
Or is that also possible in other scenes?
It's possible in other scenes. You just have to set a scene up with one of the other player characters to do it with, or indeed with a non-player character in the next settlement.
Okay. Well, in that case, I don't mind either way. I mean, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like the first or third options are the most interesting, but I don't know how others feel.
Okay. T, what about Ceri? Does Ceri lean one way or t'other?
Well, we'd had a wish for more sort of little side quests, so I'm leaning towards option 1. But yeah, at some point we'll probably call for a scene to be incoherent. Or clear being incoherent. The incoherence is gonna continue happening until we do something about it.
What about Cenred, Paul? What's he thinking?
I'm going to go for share the campfire because it's the quickest, because we've only got one more session. The chance of running a full settlement in one session is low on our current speed of play. So I think we should get to a settlement quickly, chug off something of that tonight, and hopefully finish it next week.
Now, there's a very tactical approach, colleagues. What do we think? That's a man thinking further ahead than I am. What do you think? T, Xena?
I'm good with that.
I'm okay with that, yeah.
Because there is some sense in that. And because I don't really want to have a side quest hang on in Robbie's absence. I'd like him to be here for a full session when we're doing something coherent. So let's consider sharing their campfire. Once the heroes are settled around the campfire, the fates ask each hero in turn how they establish some human connection with one of the travelers, so they can either seek solace in friendship and clear their burden, or learn something about a settlement the heroes have yet to visit, which will be whatever you end up at in the marshes. Cenred, how do you establish some human connection with these, must be said, Christian entertainers?
Just the people I was looking for. My Christian friends, in your faith, dishonesty, how big a sin is it? And what happens to you if you are continually dishonest in your
And
faith?
and the leader of the band pipes up and said, "Well, you know, you must not covet your neighbor's ass. You must not steal from people, and if you do, you risk damnation, my friend."
While I don't believe in your God, clearly you do, and I'd like to spread bet on this. So I'm inclined to go with you, and I think I need to change my ways from being dishonest, because I will admit that in the past I have been a smidgen, only a small amount, dishonest.
And so that opens the doors for seek solace in friendship with this Christian entertainer. So let us seek solace. I think that was either sense or subtle at play.
I will agree with you. I think it's me seeing sense that maybe the Christian God could be right, and therefore I do need to make amends for my previous transgressions that the Christians view as wrong.
Now you can either roll with that, or you can accept the 7 to 9 outcome without rolling.
What is the 7 to 9?
Um, so wise is their counsel that if their heritage differs from your own, you honor that heritage by accepting their patron as a potential source of aid in future. You've already tied your wagon to the Fae. This will give you the option to tie your wagon to Christianity.
Well, I did say that I like to spread. Uh, it's good being in the favor of all gods, old, new, different. So yeah, I will take the 7 to 9 on that.
Fair enough. So you can, down the bottom where you added the Fae,
Yeah,
you can now
the Christ
add the
God.
Christ God with a favor of 0 currently. Okay?
Yep.
What about Branwen? What does Branwen do to kind of open conversation with these people?
I think, given that they're entertainers, I feel like there's probably got to be some, curious sights, shall we say, people who are treated as curiosities. And I think Branwen will feel a natural bond with them because they are a bit different. And yeah, they'll probably strike up a conversation around that about, uh, well, I understand, it's living and da da da, but I wonder sometimes, I mean, I find it difficult to be stared at, to be, gawked at sometimes. But other times, I feel like I myself, I'm incredibly curious and end up observing people in a way that probably crosses the lines of good taste and manners. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
Roll to seek solace in friendship. I think that's probably subtle, as the kind of that opening that box, or sense.
Sure, why not subtle? Although, I mean, also, what is the benefit of rolling if
Well, that there you can roll and risk failure,
hmm
or risk great success, or you can just accept that they make some sense. But they're the same faith as you, aren't they? They're the same heritage as you. So yeah,
At
there
least
is.
ostensibly.
Yeah, you just take the 7 to 9 and you gain one favor with Christ.
Well, then there we go. I guess we're gonna do that instead of rolling.
Yeah, that
That
makes
makes sense.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Need to write that clearer in the rule.
Because
One
I
day
was just
see
wondering what is the benefit at all of rolling if, yeah.
that's true. There ought to be a 10 plus in there, shouldn't there?
hmm
You're right. Thank you. The joy of the endless playtest. Sometime in 2089, this will be published. And finally, what about Ceri? How does Ceri establish some connection? Because she usually ends up in these situations already incoherent. So I'm just
Yep.
curious.
Yeah, I think I checked, this is way too early for attested puppets, so there's no puppets. I think there are two of these entertainers are sort of working on their act. And I don't know, maybe one's sort of singing and playing a harp. And the other is doing, oh, that's true, unattested puppets. And the other is doing, let's go with tumbling. I think it's a little bit more of a comedic act. And I think Carrie is just delighted by this and sits down probably in the middle of a thoroughfare where people are trying to go back and forth and is a little bit in the way but doesn't seem to care. Absolutely enraptured by these performers. And you said they're Christian, so perhaps it's a religious song comes up at some point, and it's one that Carrie seems to know. And as the performer continues, Carrie at first sort of makes little bird song sounds, chirps and whistles. And then by the time sort of the second verse comes around, joins in sort of humming, and then the third verse is able to join in, just singing normally. And when the performance, or I guess the rehearsal finishes, will applaud wildly and yeah, I think just go up and hug
Yeah.
both of the performers very effusively, and then just leave.
And roll to seek solace with friendship.
Yeah, I'm just going to take the 7 to 9
Fine.
to clear the burden because I would like to go into the next bit coherent.
Yes, not a bad idea. So
Yeah.
yes, so you take the 7 to 9 outcome, you are coherent, and you gain one favor with the Christian God, because you too are Christian, aren't you?
Hmm.
Yeah, and so are they. So
Hmm.
with that in mind, then once these and any resulting scenes are resolved for good or ill, the fates triggers signs of importance, which takes us all the way around to a new settlement. Now, because Robbie isn't with us, what I'm thinking of doing is running through the arriving as it engages with you, and then probably stopping early before we get to the inciting scene, so we can have Robbie join at the point when stuff begins to happen in that settlement. But that does kind of shortchange you on what I said was a 3 hour session.
Robbie deserves something. So
Fair enough.
Yeah.
We could have just taken the view that it serves him right for not being here, but
that is another way.
I appreciate that what you're suggesting is more in keeping with our code of conduct. So thank you. So let us move to arriving. When the heroes first come inside of a settlement, the Fates names it. I am going to call this one. Hang on, I need to pull down a new settlement, don't I? View, hidden. Whoops. Hidden settlement master. Duplicate that and hide it. There we go. So there we are. There it is. And this is a Old Gods. Let me roll 2 dice, see if I come up with a name that makes some sense. This settlement is 1, 4. 4 is Kevin, and then a D6 for the qualifier. 4. Kevin Weil. So this settlement is called Kevin Weil, and it is in the territory of the Marsh tribes. So these are believers in the old gods of Gwilog's history. So I reset the shade track by making marking 1 shade for each level of shade. Now you filled the shade track last time, so that is 4 levels of shade. So I am marking the first 4 dismal. So it's fully dismal, just for context. It'll be dreary next. Then the fates offers place opportunity to begin to shape the theme. So in a different order, let me start this time with Ceri. As the camera catches Ceri viewing the settlement from some distance for the first time, what do we see? Describe something unusual, concerning, or suspicious that can be seen from a distance. Refer to an emotional memory the sight of the settlement stirs. Or be more allegorical, or come up with something else that interests you.
And we know that the settlement has something to do with Gwilog's sort of druidic marshiness.
It's in the same. It's in the area where he was brought up. It's not his home. It's not where he was apprenticed. I don't think I can make that a truth unless he says it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a marsh tribe, or the lands of the marsh tribe. This doesn't mean they're all there on stilted hats necessarily, but there is the tone of, marsh.
Yeah. And I think that's what Ceri notices first. You see them, nose up, sniffing. And I think to them, it smells a little like Gwilog, honestly. I imagine Gwilog carries, various herbs and stuffs about his person. But there's also something unsavory to it, a sense of putrefaction or decay that's not in the normal realms of marshiness. And I think Ceri sort of frowns and sniffs again and looks over at the rest of you and says, "Health smells."
Do you want to go as far as sulfur?
I'm trying to decide if Ceri would have smelled sulfur before.
Fair point.
I don't know.
Let's leave that
Eggs.
unpleasant.
Yeah,
Smells
rotten
of
eggs.
unpleasantly
true.
decaying plant life. Does that fit?
Yeah, something is breaking down here that seems wrong.
Something wrong, commas. Okay. Branwen,
Mm.
what do you want to evoke about this place that hints at darkness?
I think something about the marshes make Branwen feel uneasy. And um, as they sort of cast their mind back as to where they may have felt similarly, yeah, they keep just circling back to the moment where they woke up still buried underneath a huge stone slab. Okay, that is very vague, but yeah, I guess yeah,
No,
that
that's
is the
fine.
feeling that they get.
I mean, that there's a dank,
Hmm.
stale earthiness about that. I've never been buried under a slab of stone, but that's what I fear I would smell if I woke up down there.
Hmm.
And finally, Cenred, as the camera pans to you, what do you want to add to our signs and portents?
Cannot see a single person in the village, but see loads of marsh animals, otters, deer. Not a single person, but lots of clothes lying about.
Wow. Lots of marsh animals all over the village, but no people, but discarded clothing everywhere. Well, fancy that. Okay. That's all very interesting. Um,
Can I just mention, I think you're typing that into the old one, the old setting tab.
do you know, I think you're right. Let me take that and put it here. Thank you for that.
No worries.
Um, so, hang on. There we go. And then, okay, right. Got that. Then, as the camera moves in, this talks about significant people. I don't think there are any significant people here, given what we've just had described to us. You
Yet,
will need to,
possibly.
yet you may have to discover some in play, but right now we have no people to come in and focus on. But we do have a couple of locations, nearby locations that could be significant to our narrative. Um, let me go back the other way. Cenred, Paul, do you want to come up with a descriptor or a place?
I always like a descriptor, so uh, let me roll um, blue first dice. 5 and a 4.
That is an unstable something.
Hmm.
Unstable. Zena, do you want to say what's unstable? Roll or
Mm,
pick a place?
yeah, just let me look through them. Well, how about the ancient hill fort?
Sorry, I've got that wrong. It's an unpredictable.
Oh, unpredictable.
Sorry. I went 5-5. It's 5-4. Unpredictable.
Right, let's do
Sorry.
unpredictable then. Um, yeah, why not an unpredictable? Mm, well, I'm torn to bog, obviously. Why not?
Yeah. Unpredictable bog. Okay. Um, and then do you, T, on Kerry's behalf, want to define a descriptor or a place?
So I rolled for a descriptor and I got a 3-6, which is stinking.
Oh dear. Well, I'm now wondering whether we need to swap those two about and stick with stinking bog and unpredictable something else. What do you say to
Sure.
that?
Sure, why not?
Does that
I'm fine
seem
with that.
okay? So let's go with stinking bog. Well, look, there is no I mean, I've never tried this before. There's no reason why the bog should not be both stinking and unpredictable.
Does stop you going to multiple locations then?
It does. That's the only problem. Or different areas of this marshland. One is stinking and one is unpredictable. But it's all
Understood.
bog.
All bog.
I don't know. I've never tried that. The rule says it has to be different. But stinking coming up
It could
just
also be
screamed bog.
unpredictable, I don't know, caverns or
Well, do you want an unpredictable something else then?
I mean, unpredictable bog. I mean, I don't know. I'm happy to go either way, but I mean, I maybe like to experiment with a double.
sure.
Haven't done it
Okay,
before.
let's try that then. So unpredictable, the threat, the risk is predict the pattern or avoid the risk. Okay, whatever we interpret that as. So we have Kevin Wall, the is a location among the marsh tribes. So this is a tribal location. Okay. We have no people, but we have these two odd areas of interest. This does suggest that it might be doable in a session because there's going to be no one yet to talk to. And it also gives you some interesting possibilities in terms of this inciting incident. But as I said, I am inclined to call it now and leave our inciting incident until Robbie is back in the frame. Does that seem fair?
Works for me.
Yeah, because we need the shadow to manifest. And I think that would be nice if it was all four of you. Okay?
Sure.
Okay. Let's not forget end of session EP. XP. Let's start this time with Branwen. Branwen. Did your burden make a difference for good or ill?
I don't know.
Well, if you take you addressed your burden when you
Yes.
sought some solace, and I think your burden also drove you to question Calla about what on earth's going on here.
Oh, true. I forgot about that
If
bit.
anyone was going to do it, it should have been you, and you did.
Sure.
Did you address a challenge with stealth?
I mean, I guess I could argue that approaching the whatever, the manifestation invisible could be seen as that, but I
Through
don't
the
know.
back door? No, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on that. You can mark 2 all told.
Cool.
Let's go round to Ceri Alun. Did your burden make a difference for good or ill? It always does.
Yep. I would say so.
I don't know if being the loon is inevitably going to be that case, but certainly it did. Did you address a challenge with lunacy?
I agree. I would say that I did. Just sort of making dog sounds and expecting them to help was,
Yes.
I
Of
think most
course I
people
can
probably
speak to
wouldn't do
these
that.
dogs.
Of course. Listen,
Yeah.
I've never done it before, but
They'll
maybe today.
protect me. They'll
Mhm.
sort this out. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. So you clear your track and pick an improvement. And
Yeah.
finally, our reformed Cenred. Did your burden make a difference for good or ill?
I don't think so. I mean, I did engage with the Christians.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's for good. You now have another patron. You don't have any favor stacked with them yet.
No, but I do understand a bit more about the Christ God. They always witter on, don't they? They always try to sell. Um, address a challenge with guile. You know, I didn't go for frontal assault. I sort of came up for the plan to go on the side, did a bit of distraction. Yeah, I didn't think it was too grand offence.
And I have to say, I think that walking up to Ceri, with us all thinking you were going to try and hit this gaseous balloon shape with your club, and though we stood on the you hit her, you did in fact use guile to try and get that talk
Out
away
of her
from her.
hands without touching
Exactly,
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that would apply as well. Any additional improvements? You can pick those between now and then. Um, and let's have a quick stars and wishes. That in terms of what are we looking forward? What did we like today, and what will we like next time? Apart from a full-size session. T, any stars, any wishes?
Yeah, quite a few. I double stars actually. To Paul for having. I like the idea of Black and Red just coming up and bopping Carrie. But then also star to Alan for remembering that that was in our lines and veils and editing that. So uh, good on both counts. Also, I really liked the failure for Carrie being that she ate the chicken. I thought that was very in keeping with the threat and a really satisfying escalation. Um, and then the combo of Black and Red distracting the spirit and Lady Frithwiga while Branwen swooped up in a incorporeal form and whispered death to this evil spirit. I thought was a very cool moment, and I enjoyed it a lot. So yeah, and I don't think I have any particular wishes going forward, but I'll let you know if that changes.
Fine. I mean, given that we have no people there, it seems to be a no-brainer that we're going to see Kerry talking to the animals. But that's,
Does seem likely.
that's my wish. Um, if she could speak to the animals, learn their languages, etc. Xena, any stars, any wishes?
Yeah. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna second the eat the chicken being torn to bits as a really good scene, and I don't know, quite a surprising twist, I think, to me at least. Um, yeah, it loved the scene with the loon, yeah, howling like like a wolf, hoping for some kind of response, and then also the abject disappointment. That was really good, and yeah, Kenred just being, I don't know, his usual self of
Little what?
a lot of, I don't know, just yeah, a lot of talk to distract others, etc. I really enjoyed that. Yeah. I don't know if I have any wishes. I guess the only thing is, I think today I felt slightly sometimes at a loss for like what do we what can you do, with
Yeah.
this particular thing, and it just felt like
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
just a bit at a loss. And
yeah,
so
no,
yeah.
and I will own that because I had a fairly tight revelation in my head built around it's the problem of having had a week between setting up the revelation and rolling for it. And
Mm,
so occasionally I've been mulling over this. So I had a quite tight revelation that revolved around, the spirit of intestines, Calla, and Vibius Calasuna. Um, and then you failed,
mm,
and it's none of them.
yeah. And then
So
it
I will admit that
just like, okay.
I was desperately trying to spin a plate in the first part of that because I felt I lost Paul at one point. And if that happens again, folks, just stop me and say, "Hang on, I just need to check in here. What exactly is going on?" Don't that's fine. That's fine because I will admit that I was cycling very fast. I was pedaling under the water there to try and get the ball back on track. Whether I did or not is a different question. Um, so, Paul, any
No, but it
stars?
was still
Any?
enjoyable.
Oh
Just
well, that's okay. That's okay. Paul, any stars? Any wishes?
Yeah, Xena, I really liked the I think for both Xena and T leaning at their interpretation of the playbooks, and using it to sort of maximum effect. I always like to see that. Uh, Xena, I really liked the use of the incorporeal, and really you were the only one that could deal with a few of those things because I was really looking through my playbook and there wasn't too much. I'm pretty good with mortals, and that was quite a non-corporeal thing. So, you really sort of stepped up to the plate, especially with one less player. It needs to be a lot tighter. So, really good stepping in there and using your playbook to sort of max effect and helping me out because I was a bit of a loss. And T, yeah, ridiculously loony tonight. Yeah, yeah, really good with the chicken. Maybe if it had been a rubber chicken with a pulley in the middle, it would have been slightly better, but I think we're in the wrong time. So yeah, that's a different kind of KFC tonight. Yeah, really good. And mad as a box of frogs. Always nice to see from the loon. I do like mad to 11. So very, very good. Wishes going forwards. Yeah, we've done a lot of them. If we can just squeeze in the plague, I don't know if it might not be me that ticked plague, but maybe we could get that in. I don't know. And then maybe a bit of a debrief at some stage, Alan, because yeah, I wouldn't mind talking about arcs at some stage. Yeah, but not now.
Good point. Because they're a kind of slightly incorporeal thing in my head at the moment. But yeah, no, that's great. My stars, yeah, thank you for going with my pedaling very quickly at that revelation to try and keep the bike upright. Um, I thank you, Ceri T, for failing that role so I could have you eat the chicken. I'm very grateful for that opportunity. I thank you. Um, I enjoyed the opportunity of the failure to have what you said would happen. But you went out in the end, and I thought it was a very kind of touching almost epilogue on the village as you left. So that's been great. Can I just ask, is it okay for me to post that?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Then I will pause, say bye-bye to Tinternet.